Take me back to the place I know, with the mystery shack and the forest gnomes. I'm already packed, so come on, let's go. Don't get me started, my heart's in Gravity Falls.
Hey, welcome to the Mystery Shack Look Back, a nostalgic time capsule and no spoiler book club of the original Gravity Falls fandom. We're your curators. I'm Charlie.
I am Ella. Some of us have prepared for this event.
For the first time in my entire life, I am the least theatrical person in a room. This is a momentous occasion for this podcast.
Oh, man.
Do you know another momentous occasion for this podcast, Ella?
Well, there's many. I can't really just pick one, but what were you thinking of?
I wanted to point out the fact that my bestie's here again! Woo!
Yay!
Well, yeah, I'm always here.
Party!
Woo!
Hi, Ray.
It's party time. It's party time.
Ray, what was the last episode of this podcast you were on?
Blended's game.
And that was a great one.
It was. Actually, I've got a lot of people telling me that's one of their favorite episodes, Ray. So you're actually here in high demand, I guess.
Yeah, superstardom.
Oh, okay, cool. Mega superstar.
I bet you didn't realize that about yourself, that you're wanted.
No.
I used to make the joke at Wild West City when they said they were going to make a wanted poster of me. I'd go, when I worked as a cowboy performer at a theme park, for context, I would go, well, it's good to be wanted.
Yeah.
But Ray, we want you to join the docent army.
All right.
Which I'd say we have enough docents to constitute an army at this point, right?
I've already started waging war on other museum podcasts, so I hope so.
I figured you would. I mean, I didn't ask about it. I just kind of left you to that.
Yeah, I assumed that was the plan. So
2's a company, 3's a crowd, and like 10 or so. That's an army!
Yeah.
So, Ray, can you please put your... Sorry. Dyscalculia. Give me... Which hand, Ella?
Well, I mean, honestly, whichever one you feel like. It doesn't really matter.
Ray, can you put one of your hands on this copy of Journal 3, one of your hands in the air, and one of your hands on your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Definitely.
It is physically possible. You just gotta put your hand on Journal 3 and then move Journal 3 so the back of your hand is touching your heart. It's really easy.
What about Ray's third hand, though? What do we do?
Oh, I was intending to cut that off later, if that's cool with all you.
Oh, you think that... I thought it would be useful.
I thought Ray would look good with a hook hand.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That would lend a certain air of badassery to our army.
I thought so. Ray is a cutlass lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, now that you've been on the podcast twice, we will give you your induction into docentry.
Yay.
Ray, repeat after me.
Okay.
Ray, repeat after me.
Ray, repeat after me.
Perfect.
I state your name.
I, Ray,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the duties of a Mystery Shack Look-Back docent.
to uphold the duties, of a Mystery Shack look-back docent.
Kyle Carosa made that same joke as you, but also sometimes you send me Kyle Carosa's tweets and be like, why did he make this joke first? I wanted to make this
he made the
joke.
Wonder 3 joke before I did about the Pokemon.
Compared Pokemon starters to Tezuka characters before you could, and you're like, what the hell, Kyle?
That's also what you're supposed to say. We don't add the laughing at the word duties, but it's required.
Yeah, I thought that was part of
So
the...
everyone previously who hasn't laughed at the word duties, not actual docents.
They're not in the front lines.
No, they're in the front lines.
They
going
are.
First.
They're gonna die first. Okay.
Yeah.
To preserve the history.
To preserve the history.
And protect the mystery.
And protect the mystery.
Of the Gravity Falls fandom.
Of the Gravity Falls fandom.
And I promise.
To
pick up Ella from Philadelphia on Friday so Charlie can rest and save money on gas.
I'm working that day.
Oh,
well, I guess you can't be a docent.
I guess I can't be a docent. I'm working.
No, it's
sorry.
fine. No, I can't fault you for capitalism. You didn't create that.
As far as we know.
No.
We wouldn't be friends if you did.
No.
So we have some fan mail.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we got some fan mail to our Gmail, mysteryshacklookback@gmail.com. Feel free to email your Gravity Falls fandom experiences. This one is actually from one of our patrons, Spencer, who says, "While I was not directly in the fandom in 2015, I did see some stuff from the time involving Gravity Falls' relations to other fandoms, specifically Undertale and Steven Universe. One iconic joke that was popular on Tumblr and on Vine, where I used to cosplay characters from anime and where I met my first online friends, was taking villainous characters such as Bill Cipher, Yellow Diamond from Steven Universe, and Flowey from Undertale, and making the
Every villain is lemons, otherwise known as evil!
joke from SpongeBob because they're all yellow. Other characters often paired in this crossover include, but are not limited to, Yellow Pearl from Steven Universe, Lemon Grab from Adventure Time, Roy from Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, Evil Morty from Rick and Morty, Lord Stingray from Super Jail, Zanza from Xenoblade, and the Desert Bluffs from Welcome to Night Vale.
Kevin from Desert Bluffs is one of the many people my voice has been compared to. When I talk like this specifically. Hey, I'm Kevin from Desert Bluffs, apparently.
Lots of lemons. I'll attach some photos in the email, but feel free to go diving because you'll find a lot of fandom content for this. I do remember that.
I do.
One final thing I want to add to this email is an iconic audio crossover from Tumblr that I think most fans of Gravity Falls and Undertale will appreciate.
Hey, Sans! I have a problem!
What's going on, Papyrus?
There's this little yellow thing talking to me, and I don't think it means well.
Oh, no. Oh, wait, hang on. What? Wait, I don't know what that is.
Howdy, fellas! I heard talk of an infinite power source around these parts, and I was wondering if I could get in on that. That was a joke, because there's no conceivable way of you being able to stop me from getting in on that.
I think this thing might be a problem to us.
By the way, that post was by Mario Golf. The link is in the description if you want to go find the original post.
Thank you for reading my email and for hosting a kick-ass podcast. I love you all platonically and relatively parasocially. Thank you for keeping your distance, Spencer.
And hey, speaking of Lemon Grab from Adventure Time and Evil Morty from Rick and Morty, we also got an iTunes review from Coder the Infinith. May I read this one?
You may.
Time certified! Hey, I'd like to say that I love your podcast! Your gleeful personalities are very refreshing! Especially during this era! You see, due to... well, I shouldn't really tell you guys. Preserving the timeline and all. But anyway, I'm pretty much out of a job and have been inspired by your happy-go-lucky attitudes to start a new leash on my life. Rolf, was that new leash on life?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
I started doing yoga for my anxiety, meeting new people, and authored my own book, A Time Traveler's Life. It hasn't been selling much, no thanks to the constant fakes. I bet they don't even have a proper time license! A time sense, if you will. Do they have any idea how much work goes into this? They are no better than the idiot that wastes... Calm down. Remember what Neil taught you. Breathe in and out. That's better. Sorry for the outburst. It's a touchy topic. I guess what I'm trying to say is that for you two to keep up the good work. Remember that a little positivity, especially during the Dark Ages too, can go a long way. Oh no! I think my chicken pot pie is burning! Gotta go now! Hope you have a good future!
So that was an in-character iTunes review, and, well, I can't imagine what character that was written from the perspective of.
Yeah, they kept their identity protected, of course, and we are not at liberty to reveal it.
Yeah, I mean, that's responsible, what any time traveler should do.
Any what?
Well, I said they're a time traveler.
Yeah, that probably shouldn't have done that, huh?
I guess so. But, you know, live and learn.
So, Ella, Ray, do you want to, talk about the Lonely Island for an hour, or...?
On a boat?
Oh, yeah, I guess we have been on a real kick of just talking about a comedy musician before actually getting into the episode.
I threw it on the ground!
Yeah. I don't know, just doesn't feel quite the same.
Oh, what about, This is the Tale of Captain Jack Sparrow?
That's good.
That's good, right?
We can put that actually fits in a future episode a little
That
better.
is true. Okay, we'll get back to that, I guess. We can talk about comedy and novelty music for an hour another time because
well, or just every time.
yeah, when
apparently.
the podcast is over. Because Roadside Attraction is the 16th episode of Season 2 of Gravity Falls, and the 36th episode overall. It premiered on September 21st, 2015 on Disney XD. It was directed by Sunil Hall, written by Jeff Rowe, Josh Weinstein, and Alex Hirsch.
Oh man, I'm pretty excited to get into this one. I mean, if you remember last week, at the end of last week's episode, there was some pretty heavy stuff going on with Bill Cipher and the overarching narrative. I'm sure,
More like revenge trip. We're sitting at a table in a moving vehicle.
This was one of the best days ever.
Everyone on board?
Probably.
Brand new Gravity Falls.
Woo!
Monday, September 21st at 8 on Disney XD.
So, we just watched Roadside Attraction. Forget what I said earlier, I guess. It's not really anything like what I teed it up to be.
No, this is not concerning with Ford protecting the shack against Bill in the previous episode.
No.
I will say, there are
Yeah.
3 potential factors determining where something airs in a season.
Yeah.
Continuity,
Mm-hmm.
the demands of the workplace, like workflow,
Yeah.
and whatever the network decides.
Yeah, so for context, the overwhelming response to this episode, like,
is that it is a plot hole. Is that it not only is it a lighter episode, but it doesn't make any sense at this point in continuity.
and that it was, and it was especially received negatively because of the surrounding context, because things were ramping up so intensely in the overarching plot, as well as, this is still Gravity Falls, and we still have, like, these constant hiatuses where you never really know when the next episode is going to be. So, especially at the time, I was looking through, like, the Reddit threads, and it's like, it was pretty intense of, like, wow, we're, like, chomping at the bit for this story arc, and then they come out with this, and it's like, I get it, but basically my take on it now is, like, it's fine. Like, don't worry. Like,
For context of why this episode is at this place in the season, when Alex was not sure if he was going to feel like doing season 2, what he decided to do to rally the troops is return to the original inspiration. Alex had seen bumper stickers for the mystery spot in Santa Cruz, California, but had never been there. The Mystery Shack is based on the mystery spot, despite Alex never having seen the mystery spot. So he got the crew together. They went on a big old road trip to the mystery spot, but all the northwestern United States tourist traps.
And climbed
And
in a big old RV, and Ian Worrell, the art director, was the driver and the dad of the group, telling him to pipe down.
what was understood was that eventually there would be an episode about this road trip. And Alex decided the best possible place for the episode was right before the 3-part series finale, because, as Matt Chapman said in the commentary for Dungeons, Dungeons & More Dungeons, writing light episodes is easy. You just come up with jokes. Writing plot-heavy episodes means calling your boss, Alex Hirsch, every 5 minutes and being like, hey, does this line contradict anything? And it's a really hard day at work.
Yeah, and there's a level of, like, emotional exhaustion that goes into it as well, because
What the next events are all going to concern the show's ending. The next 4 episodes all have plot threads related to that. That means 4 episodes in a row. So basically, for what could have been so many months at work, things were going to get a little hectic. So it was necessary to put this episode at this place so everyone didn't quit or go crazy.
Yeah, and it's the last, again, I hate this word, it's the last quote-unquote filler of the
It's
entire
not. It's
series.
I think of it
But
as
it's not,
as
yeah.
fun episodes or character-driven episodes is what I call them.
Exactly.
But-
no filler has been completely removed from its original context, and now it's just used as an insult to any
To
episode.
any
that,
character-driven episode.
yeah, any episode that doesn't have like a clue or a thread.
Just listen. what you have to understand is that people who make TV shows are at work when they do so. They are making the TV show, one, because it's fun, but mostly for rent and groceries. So they have sustenance and shelter. And so, like, writing about a cool road trip you went on with your friends for sustenance and shelter is awesome. So this episode is awesome.
Yeah, and I understand even, like, the previous episode was all about protecting the Mystery Shack, so now we are safe from Bill Cipher inside the Mystery Shack, and now we're leaving the Mystery Shack, and that does eventually kind of get addressed in a way that I can't say right now, but I would even put forth the argument that, like, people, the Reddit threads I was seeing were also all saying, like, oh, this feels like a Not What He Seems, this feels like a season 1, like, they were even theorizing that it canonically takes place back then, that this is like some sort of prequel episode. I disagree.
It also doesn't matter. When people point out, oh, I don't like that episode because of the plot hole, I say, oh, I don't care.
No, it doesn't matter, number one, but number two, I don't think it's a plot hole. I think that's wrong. I think Stan has a level of emotional honesty with Dipper in this episode that could not have happened before Not What He Seems. I don't think he would have been this open with Dipper before.
Absolutely. Again, in that Dungeons and More Dungeons episode, Matt uses the phrase felt like a season 1 episode to describe having a fun time at work. Like, this was great. This was so much fun to write. It felt like we were doing season 1 again. So that's not a bad thing for people to not be stressed at their job.
Yeah. So on the meta level and the behind the scenes level, but also just like on a text level, I don't think there's a problem.
Oh, I don't think about if there is a problem. I've not thought about whether it's contradictory to the plot or not, because it doesn't matter to me.
That's just not a question that concerns you at all.
I got the Ken Keeler relationship. When people ask Ken Keeler questions about characters like Homer, he goes, well, he's not real.
None of this is real. None of this actually happened.
You understand that there aren't spider women that eat people, right?
What? What's the point of living? Damn it! Why go on?
Where am I gonna get a hot spider girlfriend?
I'm sorry, Ray.
What's the point of But no, yeah, my relationship to it is just the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie writer. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
This is legitimately in my top 3 episodes. I think Ray has called it her favorite episode of the show before.
I probably did back in the day. Yeah.
Is it still your favorite episode?
I haven't watched the rest of the show like you guys have, so I really don't know. But it was fun episode. Yeah.
So while I can empathize with the people who were clamoring for plot and suffering through all these hiatuses at the time, because, I was one of them, but I didn't feel that way at the time, and I feel even less like that now. So I get it, but also they lack a greater perspective, I would say.
Mm-hmm. But the Spider-Woman in question is voiced beautifully, amazingly, wonderfully, mwah, 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 by Chelsea Peretti. The reason we talked about Lonely Island for an hour earlier is that frontman Andy Samberg was her friend in high school.
We did talk about that for a really long time. I hope you didn't cut any of that. That was gold.
No, I would never. So yeah, we get a friend of the Lonely Island in this episode.
Yeah, wow. That's totally...
Also, yeah. So she plays Darlene. She plays the hell out of Darlene.
Oh, you are a riot. What brings you here? We don't normally get men this handsome around these parts.
Well, Darlene, between you and me, what I'm doing here is a little secret.
Oh, you seem like a man with secrets. I'm going on a break. You want to take the Sky Tram up to Widow's Peak? Oh, fancy.
It's so good. I can't even describe the style of delivery.
I know it. I know how to describe it because my dad has because we're from New Jersey and, meet a lot of people that are from like Queens or Staten Island or whatever. Yeah. My dad has a phrase for this exact character voice, and it's called gum lady chewing.
Yeah.
So not a lady chewing gum, it's like 12 Days of Christmas.
Like her personality is gum lady. And she's chewing the gum.
Yeah, she's the gum lady chewing. She does that kind of gum lady chewing. Or Ray does it better.
Stanley!
There you go.
Oh, I love the laugh too.
On one level, it makes sense because for her character, she traps people, and she doesn't really have to try that hard because people are so gullible. So she's just kind of like phoning it in with her like being flirtatious, like, "Oh, you're so funny."
Yeah, she sounds so disinterested in her own flirts.
Yeah, my favorite's like,
Oh, are you sure you want to go this deep into the forest? It's so scary.
"It's so scary."
Outside of this episode, what she is best, the three things she is best known for, she was a staff writer on Parks and Recreation, which is to say that the other staff writers on Parks and Recreation were trapped in a room with her for 12 hours a day. And that was adapted into the television show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where she plays the character Gina Linetti, who is based on what it was like to be trapped in a room with Chelsea Peretti for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And her brother, Jonah Peretti, founded BuzzFeed and the Huffington Post, which makes her ideal to voice a villain.
Argue she's not a villain.
Okay.
She's not a villain at all.
All right, but Jonah Peretti is.
Jonah Peretti's a villain. Jonah Peretti's a real-life villain. Chelsea Peretti is not a villain, and Darlene is not a villain. Darlene's whole thing is that she takes, predatory dudes and flips it on its head, and then turns them into mummies.
Because she's hungry. She needs sustenance too, actually.
Yeah, okay, that's true. They get very close to like some very real territory with where she's talking to Stan after she's captured him, and she says,
Before I transformed, who'd you think was in charge? You? With your cheesy lines and fake confidence? I'm the master pickup artist here. Sorry, Toots. This time, you're getting used for your body.
But then immediately it's kind of backpedaled into a more funny Gravity Falls territory with...
Which to my weird species is food.
Which is like, I think they get right up against that line of like, oh, this is like touching on something very serious. And then they bring it back.
Yeah, used for your body is like a legitimate feminist phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like, yeah, she's also a spider person, so, it's food to her. And she's so like, the Gravity Falls villains are, again, they all have a level of like, there's a balance of comedic and threatening, but she is very, like, leans comedic. She's very self-aware of, like, that she's a weird spider person. A giant boot, a giant coffee cup, a giant newspaper also would have been pretty bad.
The boot in question that eventually is her undoing, is the largest Paul Bunyan statue in the world, which is located at Darlene's place of business, Mystery Mountain. But in real life, an identical Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. Can't forget about Babe the Blue Ox.
No.
Statue, like used for art reference, like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Is in the mystery spot in Santa Cruz, California, where the bumper sticker of Gravity Falls was based. Probably in the thumbnail, if you want, we can put the mystery spot bumper sticker and the Mystery Shack bumper sticker side by side so you could see the inspiration.
Probably.
Yeah.
And the Paul Bunyans, maybe? I don't know. Or in a reply. Up to you. But also, before they eventually arrive at Mystery Mountain, where the climax of the episode takes place, they visit a few other tourist traps based on real-world tourist traps. They visit a large ball of yarn. Do you know what that's based on, folks?
Yarn.
It's based on the concept of yarn.
I had 2 weeks of vacation time coming.
Oh, you mean like after working all year
Yeah.
down at Big Roy's Heating and Plumbing?
You know the place. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, wrong song.
We're mixing up our long Weird Al songs.
So yes, I gotta tell you the story of I read up on the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota, and
Oh, it's a sad story.
so it is not the largest ball of twine in the world because if teamwork involved, you can roll twine pretty quickly. It is the largest ball of twine rolled by one man, Francis A. Johnson, who was 45 years old when he was like, I'm just gonna start rolling twine until I die. And that he did. If you've ever handled twine, you'll notice that little fragments of it come off. Little fragments can be airborne. And, emphysema is usually caused by cigarette smoking, so it's interesting that a man who never smoked came down with it.
Well, that's why Granny Sweetkins uses yarn.
Listen, he was 45 years old. He'd already lived a relatively full life. He was like, I think this was how he wanted to go out, Ella. I don't think it is a sad story. I think it's a victory.
You know what? That's exactly how I feel about the prospect of dating Darlene.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like,
that's
when we were
that's how
watching
we get it.
both of you were thirsting over her, and I was like, well, I mean, she would kill you, and you guys were like, yeah, exactly.
I don't see the problem. You gotta go sometime.
Yeah.
She's cute. They draw her very cute.
He was 45 years old, and no one asked him to roll that much twine. So I think if it wound up being fatal, I think he must have just been
wound
like...
up.
Wound up. I think he must have just been like, well, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what every comic book artist, that's the decision they make.
Now, I do have a couple questions about it, though. Like, what was going through his mind? Where did he get the line? Did it just
What was he trying to prove? Who was he trying to impress? I don't know. It's anybody's guess.
Anybody's guess. Interestingly, there is no upside-down house in the northwestern United States, Pacific Northwest or California.
Well, because that wouldn't work. Have you ever used Velcro? That would not work. Velcro would not be that reliable.
Sure.
People would
But,
die.
there are many upside-down houses in the world. Now, really what they are is a photo opportunity where it is modeled like you are standing on the ceiling, and it looks like it in like photos of the... It's not actually you walking around in Velcro. The main two in America are the Wonderworks in Orlando, Florida, where Alex had been on vacation, so it's possible that's the basis.
Yeah, even though they didn't visit one on that particular trip.
Also, the closest to Oregon, and I use the term closest loosely, is the top secret upside down White House in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's where JFK Jr. is.
No, that's where KFJ is.
Oh, okay, got it.
Kentucky Fried Jack.
Yeah.
I'm a Kentucky Fried Jack.
I'm upside down.
I'm the upside down JFK.
Good.
I love your reactions to things. They also briefly take a respite and sleep in the trailer park, Septic Springs. Do you know what the basis of that was?
Why, that would be the hot tub scene from a Goofy movie.
Is there anything thematically in that scene relating to that at all?
Well, they're on a road trip.
Someone's giving someone bad advice and they're listening because they're naive.
And it's about kind of an overall family relationship.
But, yeah, Alonso Ramirez Ramos insisted that the hot tub scene have the identical lighting and camera shots to Goofy movie. And when Alex asked why, Alonso could not come up with an answer.
But he was right to do it.
And episode writer Jeff Rowe, who wrote and co-directed the film Mitchells vs. the Machines, or as it's also known, just Goofy movie again, I'm sure appreciated that.
Yeah, and it's a great scene.
And that's not an insult.
No.
Comparing things to Goofy movie is the nicest thing you could say about a movie.
Exactly. And this scene in this episode, as well as the scene in the Goofy movie, I mean, it's a fantastic Goofy movie scene. I'm even going to link it in the description because it's so good.
Ray and I watched Goofy movie together and we're like, that was pretty good. That was all right. And then we watched Extremely Goofy movie together and we were trying to like compare why it didn't work. And we realized, oh, Goofy movie is amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
We just needed to know darkness to see the light.
There's a similar thing with it that I like about this episode and that scene in the Goofy movie where they get right up against something that is very serious and solemn and they don't defeat their own purpose, but they just walk that line, right? Where Goofy says, like,
maybe Max isn't everything you think a son should be, but he loves me.
And Pete says,
hey, my son respects me.
Goofy's just like, yeah. It's like it's very understated. It's very like, that's the difference between you and me, Pete. Like, that's what we value in our relationships.
By the way, I'm available for hire.
Yeah. For the Budachristly Goofy movie.
So there is something, in all honesty, I don't like about this episode. When I've been talking to people about why this isn't actually the worst episode.
What?
The sexual politics are not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are they sexual politics or are they
romantic.
just romantic politics? They're 12. They're all. They're
I
pretty
mean,
much
it's
all
just,
12.
it's just, yeah, you're right. Romantic pop. It's just a buzzword. Sorry, but
Well, that's Jonah Peretti's fault.
yeah, he loves buzz things.
Yeah, I understand it on paper, I guess, of like just don't use people.
Yeah, it's that Stan is not good with women and boasts himself as a ladies' man in spite of this, and is giving Dipper bad advice, and because Dipper is naive, he is following it.
Right. And is not being honest with his intentions. If he had just said, like, hey, look, I'm just trying to, like, make new friends, meet new people, I'm just trying to get out there more emotionally, but he is, you know, setting up all of these girls that he meets as though they're going to talk more and have more of, like, a committed, like, pursuit of a relationship, and that's really the fault.
And that's why Stan Pines has just started a pickup artist YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You see, it's all about the 3C.
I should have written this down. Cut!
I really like jerky is just a word that non-jerks use to badmouth innocent jerks.
I mean, it's an incredibly funny episode.
It is, but I get it's executed, I think, a little wonky.
I like it all right. There is a question of, like, are we turning Candy's character into the love interest? But I don't think so necessarily.
No, yeah, because
I think her arc here resembles actual girls I knew when I was 12.
Yeah, and that's another thing, like the extent to which I even have the capacity to care, because we've talked about it before, where like we don't really care about the shipping on this show because it's like children, and it's like I don't care.
Yeah, they're like babies.
Yeah,
listen, ships are for pirates, so there's only one show I care about the ships in.
Exactly. It's like I can't even like form an opinion on the emotional conflict, and it's like how was this executed in terms of the writing and also the characters' decisions, because every time I do I'm like, well, Dipper, just communicate like this and this, and then I think, wait, I'm an adult, I have those skills, Dipper doesn't.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you have communication skills, Ella.
Well, yeah, it's like, I have this thing called a podcast.
Oh, that's where you
talk
learned them?
the whole time.
So if you go back to the first episode, I'm doing all the talking and Ella's just going,
Yeah.
Is that true?
No, not even in the slightest. I was straight up lying to the listeners. Why, you ask?
I was communicating.
Oh!
Yeah.
Communicating.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. Waka waka.
We gotta cut that off earlier. So yeah, that's why I either enjoy the parts of the episode that I enjoy, and the parts that I don't, I just kind of don't really care or think about, because it's not relevant to me as an adult human.
I thought you were a spider disguised as a human woman. I'm sorry.
Oh god, I wish. They're so hot.
Yeah, that's the hot summer bod I'm working towards, but...
You pray to the blue fairy every night to one day be a real spider.
Yeah.
Yeah! It's hot spider summer!
Woo!
There's a scene in Once Upon a Time where Jiminy Man wishes to become a cricket to the blue fairy, and Ray and I were both like, this is the stupidest thing we've ever seen in our entire life. And then he opens his CG mouth and makes cricket leg noises out of it, and we're like, either have him speak English or have him use his legs!
If I wake up tomorrow in some sort of Kafka-esque situation, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah!
Yeah.
I'm getting so many babes!
Yeah, Jiminy Man read Metamorphosis and was like, oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if he also just finds it attractive, or if it's more of a lifestyle in general.
Jiminy Cricket, his first week of being a cricket. It's not a sex thing!
Yeah, I swear. Well, his first week of being a cricket would also be like his entire lifespan.
Wait. No, because a thing happened and everyone stopped aging for 30 years. And
he became a man again.
Ray said to me, wasn't Cinderella pregnant for 30 years? And I said, no, and then I thought about it, and I'm like,
oh no!
She was pregnant
She's gonna give birth to a
30-year-old!
No, the baby wasn't aging either.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm in my 150th trimester here.
Anyway, Ray and I need to do a Once Upon a Time podcast at some point.
You should.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing show.
It's not! It is not!
It is an amazing show.
Well, it's just like, other times I feel like when a writer's room sits down to write things, they have a question of, is that too stupid? Would anyone like that? And I admire Once Upon a Time for never bringing that up. Doesn't come up.
No. Yeah.
So the only other thing that I actively, like, kind of groan at in this episode, and it's so small and so, like, insignificant in the grand scheme of the episode.
He's small.
What?
Dipper is small.
Yeah, he is very small.
Yeah. He's not, like, as small as, like, Waddles. Waddles is pretty small.
Waddles is so small.
Waddles should have been in this episode.
Waddles should have starred in this episode. The Waddles
or
road
just
trip.
have I want the B-plot about Ford and Waddles. Just, well, we're all alone, pig.
Just you and me, pig.
Yeah.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
He's like, I don't know what that's a reference to. I was not in this dimension when that movie came out. I did see an alternate universe version of Babe. It was weird.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it. All about all the pigs and sheepdogs taking care of the little naked people. I did not like it.
Yeah. That'll do, a little naked man. That'll do.
That's what he says to Waddles. Because it's the
Yeah.
quote from the version of the movie he saw.
Yeah. So the actual kind of B story that we get in this episode, and it's so barely a story, like, which is why it bothers me. It's like, there's a scene toward the beginning where Candy is poring over all the brochures for all the tourist spots that they're gonna hit, and Stan just has a line like, "Kid, those maps and brochures have never helped anybody ever. They're useless." And there's such an obvious, like, music sting and shot of Candy that I'm like, this is so blatantly a setup. It's not even anything. Like, it's so... I kind of groan at it just because it's, like, one of those...
The joke Ella made when we were watching is like, all right, I know there's a gun on this wall, kid, but...
It'll never fire.
It'll never
Don't even
fire.
worry about it. And it's, again, on the meta behind-the-scenes level, I get it. You can't, like... Sometimes the pill is just gonna be a little visible and you can't bury it under that much dog food. But, like, yeah, moments where I could see the strings where I'm like, oh, yep, I see what you're doing there. That is what we call a setup. And the payoff is nice. I do like the payoff where Candy uses the power of transience and her travel knowledge to get out of the situation safely.
Transience is a good pun.
Tell your friends it was a boring, boring ride. We get some Matt Chapman in this episode, right?
Just the tiniest little bit.
But that's enough.
Yeah.
Flame retardant raccoon says, don't hug forest fires.
I wouldn't have been happy if they had cast anyone else as the flame retardant raccoon, a parody of Smokey the Bear. The other day, there's a Smokey the Bear, you know those signs that say fire danger, and then there's like a slot for them to change out the sign?
Yeah.
Today, and they could put like low or probable or high or whatever.
Yeah.
The other day, I passed one on the way home from work, and it was pouring rain, and I saw the sign said fire danger moderate today, and I was like, I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times when driving to your place. I think moderate is just the lowest they have.
Yeah, I think when they don't feel like changing the sign, they just leave it on moderate.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, because it's not even your responsibility. I mean, I'm the one who's supposed to prevent the forest fires.
That's
so
true. Now, I feel like Smokey the Bear, the mascot of forest fire prevention, should take a little more responsibility, but he's always, like, deflecting to me. He's like, hey, you do it.
Not my problem.
Only you can prevent forest fires. I'm on break.
Look at me. I wear suspenders and no shirt. I don't care.
I'm a bear.
I like how Ray doesn't talk for 15 minutes and then says one of the funniest things I've ever heard in like 3 words.
That's why we love you.
I always used to get Smokey Bear and McGruff the Crime Dog confused, but never again. Never again, because now
Smokey the Bear hasn't released an
an absolute banger of a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Hey, open up your eyes. You've got to see alcohol.
No, wait, that is not true. I'm sorry, guys. Rankin Bass did a Smokey Bear movie. Maury Laws does the lyrics, like he always does.
Is it good?
I haven't seen it, but it's a Rankin Bass musical, so yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's a ranger that keeps a shovel in his hand? You know that he protects the forest land. Smokey the Bear roams everywhere. Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, McGruff participates in his own goal. McGruff does not deflect.
McGruff takes the bite out of crime, and
Yeah,
Smokey is like,
encourages us.
I don't want to prevent forest fires today. I got a hangover.
Not just today, but anytime. Only you. Only you.
Hey, Smokey, aren't you supposed to be preventing that forest fire? They can handle it.
That sounds like a you problem.
That sounds like a you thing.
This is also a reused joke from the unaired pilot. There was the raccoon Smokey the Bear parody in there too. And this comes with another reference to Stan's nose being orange because I'm not crazy.
Okay, no. So Ella is colorblind. Ray, who you're not colorblind, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Stan's nose is mentioned being orange in canon twice. Ella, who often will have to take the honor system on what color things are, believes that.
It's a pinkish orange.
I've always seen it as pink or salmon. I've always seen it as a salmonish pink.
It's obviously salmon.
Salmon.
Salmon kind of is like an orange pink though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a couple screenshots here where it looks kind of orange. That I just googled him. Stan
Okay.
Pine.
I'm also just tickled by the idea that to them, in their universe, it's an orange nose.
Yes, it is not. It is not that.
There's fan art where it's orange.
It is not a stylized art. Like Dipper doesn't
Cartoon.
actually have 4 fingers. Dipper has 5 fingers. So by that same logic, is Stan's nose a weird color? Yes.
Yes, it is. And you know what? We love him for it.
And it's like, hey, Greggle Stan, have you ever thought of seeing a doctor about your nose discoloration? Nope, haven't thought of it. Why ask?
Yeah. You know, Stanley, I'm a rather brilliant surgeon. I could help you out with that orange nose.
What orange nose?
I know a brilliant surgeon in an alternate dimension.
Now nasal anatomy is possibly not the same in that dimension, but it's a transferable skill at least.
I'm sure. So when Stan is captured by Darlene and he's all wrapped up in the spider web, he says, "I don't know if you're really up there, but if you are, please save me, Paul Bunyan." Which, because this is a Josh Weinstein episode, I don't remember the episode that this quote is from, if Weinstein was involved with that one, but that is lifted basically verbatim from a Homer Simpson quote where he says the same thing, except it's, "Save me, Superman, if you're really up there."
That's amazing. What episode was that? Okay, it's Lost Our Lisa.
Verbatim what Stan says, but with Paul Bunyan instead of Superman.
Oh. Alex or Josh probably heard it somewhere. Who can remember?
Who can say? But if this was a Futurama episode, here's what would happen. So, if this was a Mystery Shack Look Back episode, which it is, we would probably around this time go down to the Hall of Conspiracies.
Oh, but we have an employee today, so we don't have to do everything ourselves. Ray, guide us to
only you can lead us to the Hall of Conspiracies.
Can lead us to the Hall of Conspiracies.
All right, let's just make sure I don't get lost. Ladies and gentlemen, right this way to the Hall of Conspiracies.
Oh, sorry, I guess we're going without you, Charlie.
All right, it's fine. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Charlie's.
When we recorded the Hall of Conspiracies intro, Ella was like, "Hey, maybe we should do a gender neutral version." I was like, "That is correct. I already finished the recording session."
Oh well. From Labrinian Rebel here on the subreddit, we got a comment here. So they never told Ford that they were leaving? What happens when Ford doesn't get called up for dinner? He's gonna starve!
I love how Ford has been here for only a couple episodes and the audience already completely understands him.
Yeah, especially after last Mabelcord, where we understand that he's not actually working with Bill the whole time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, so he's like a puppy.
Ford, working down in his lab, has no concept of time and will not acknowledge when he is hungry. So if someone does not invite him to eat, that's it!
Yeah.
Because in Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons, he says, "Call me for dinner," so he needs that.
He needs it!
They're gonna enter the shack, and he's gonna be holding up his food bowl,
Where were you? He's gonna check his clock and be like, "I wonder how long I've been working on this." 3 straight That's probably bad.
And then he faints.
Yeah.
They come back to the shack and Ford is just unconscious on the floor and no one even reacts. Well, Mabel's like, I'm back, Waddles! Hi, Great Uncle Ford! And he's just like Family Guy collapsed on the floor.
Yeah, the Family Guy death pose.
Yeah.
Waddles figured out a way to feed himself. Ford did not.
Waddles is a pig. They're amazing at foraging.
Yeah.
Some of the best. They literally, people raise pigs because they're like, I want to find mushrooms, but I'm bad at it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the truffle pigs.
Do you know why? Do you know why pigs search for truffles?
Because they need the truffula seeds.
They smell like pheromones, and the pigs are lonely.
Ah.
They smell like pig pheromones, specifically.
The pigs are like,
whoa, there's a gorgeous lady down in this dirt. I gotta rescue
just
another mushroom.
Just another truffle.
Another truffle.
Another
Wait, over
mushroom.
there, I smell another gorgeous woman.
That just happens to all of us, though. You think there's a gorgeous lady
buried in the dirt.
It just turns out to be another mushroom.
Or she turns out to be a spider, in which case, win-win.
Oh, yeah.
8 legs?
7... Oh, wait, I can't reference that in this... I can't reference that in this podcast.
8 legs? 7... pelvises.
Maybe more.
Imagine.
Exactly. Also on the subreddit, Lil April Showers comments, Holy cow, Darlene didn't die. She's free to go on killing... Wait, pickup artists? Never mind. May Darlene live a long, productive life.
So make sure to follow Darlene on her YouTube and TikTok, where she posts advice on how to meet and eat men.
So, yeah, and then Stan's pickup artist YouTube channel and her YouTube channel will have a crossover.
A crossover where she tries to eat him.
Yeah, and on Stan's it'll be like, pickup gone wrong? And then on hers it'll just be another episode.
It'll be like,
of her
score!
Show. Yeah.
Big score today!
Yeah. Pickup gone wrong? Real? Not clickbait?
Spider?
Well, studies show that the average human will date like 7 or 8 spiders in their lifetime, but that's actually a statistical outlier because I date
Spiders
1,000
George.
spiders. I'm Spiders George. Spiders Ella, who lives in a cave and dates 1 million spiders every day. I'm an outlier. I should not have been counted.
I mean, you're joking like it's something unique to be attracted to spider people, but like, what if you were the same age as Miles and Gwen and watched Spider-Verse?
That doesn't count. They only have 2 legs.
I know. I was really disappointed the first time I watched Spider-Man 2002, and I'm like, he's becoming more of a spider. Here come the legs. And I kept waiting. And then I'm like, this is the scene where, this is great. This is the scene where he liquefies someone's inside so he can drink them. It's my opinion that Spider-Man, who can do whatever a spider can liquefy someone's insides and drink it, and chooses not to.
I can't bring up when that did happen in the comics either, because that's not appropriate for the podcast, but, I think he accidentally did that to Mary Jane once.
Oh, well, who hasn't?
Yeah, radioactive seed, and then Mary Jane got radiation poisoning and died.
That's not a good story.
Yeah, they were running out of ideas.
There's a lot of not good stories involving Peter Parker, because they ran out of ideas in the 90s and refused to just make another character Spider-Man.
But this episode of Gravity Falls was a good story.
Yeah.
And if you say otherwise, it's okay to be wrong about things.
Yeah.
It is okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be wrong about things sometimes.
The credits cryptogram in the Visionaire cipher reads, Seuss, like a noble golden retriever, eventually found his way homeward, and befriended a talking bulldog and sassy cat along the way. The key is Dopper, which is found on the spider webs when Candy and Dipper are sitting by the mummies. This is all, of course, a Homeward Bound joke. Which...
I love the Alex joke of just summarizing a movie for no reason in a place where no one would look.
Usually a 90s dog movie. Sometimes a 90s lion movie.
Yeah, he has done it with Homeward Bound, Air Bud, and Lion King in 3 different instances for seemingly no reason. And I love it.
Yeah.
The end card combination cipher has the history of Stan's relationships.
It's a short history, despite what he would have you believe.
Well, he It is leaving out the one date he had with Lazy Susan that he got away with using a non-specific excuse. But it says, Carla McCorkle returned all his flowers. Marilyn divorced him after only 6 hours. Beatrice slapped him for being a cad. Old Goldie's the best girlfriend Stan ever had.
He is still legally married to Old Goldie. It was a great idea. Who are you to judge?
So Marilyn is Grandpa Stan's actual wife's name and Alex's actual grandma's name. Grandpa Stan and Marilyn were married on 2 separate occasions. I love that Alex doesn't know much about Grandpa Stan, but does know that he proposed to his ex-wife. It's like, this is, what I know is one time he tried to tell me a spoon was family treasure and get me to steal from a hotel, and another time he proposed to his ex-wife, and other than that, I know nothing about the guy. I'm gonna base a character off of him, and you know what? Nailed it!
Marilyn, would you redo this with me?
Take 2!
Do it again, faster, more intense. As far as the in-universe version of Marilyn, on the DVD of the series, there was an in-character commentary track for the episode Land Before Swine.
You know, I was actually married for less than a day. Vegas situation. Reached for the same slot machine handle and it was love at first sight. Marilyn had hair like an airline stewardess and a neon pink shirt that said, over 30 and very flirty. Man, I was putty in her hands. You should have seen the way she threw dice. One time right at my head. Turns out she only married me to distract me while she stole my car and all my winnings. And I guess her name was fake and her hair was fake. But, you know, the love was real. She really was the one that got away. Like, literally, it was a proper getaway. She was chased by cop cars for about a mile out of Vegas before ducking out a door and into a canyon and making off with all my loot. Sometimes I still think of her. That pale bingo hall skin. That one weirdly sharp tooth. Sorry, I'm getting nostalgic. Point is, yeah, you know, I had love in my life once. And, you know, it bit me. You know, I think I learned a little bit of a lesson from that, which is you open your heart and blood comes out and you die.
These descriptions of Marilyn's appearance and personality bear a striking resemblance to Ida Clawthorne, a main character from Dana Terrace's Disney show The Owl House. And in the Owl House episode Yesterday's Lie, Ida is shown to have used the alias Marilyn while on Earth, which suggests that canonically Ida from the Owl House was briefly married to Grunkle Stan.
And it has also been stated that she is only gray because of her curse and is actually around 30 years old.
And she is very flirty.
Also ex-boyfriends.
And I guess presumably her aim is getting better.
I've noticed that about her. She misses Stan a lot, but her marksmanship is improving.
Oh, Bojack, you'll never do anything right.
Oh, Bojack, you'll never do anything.
Yeah, there you go, you got
it. Step further away from the TV. It makes you cruel. Ray, thank you for coming on the podcast again, and congrats on becoming a docent!
Woo! I'm glad we celebrated with this road trip.
You just became a docent of Mystery Shack Look Back. What are you gonna do now?
I'm gonna tell you all to pre-order Princess Night because it's coming out on July 12th.
Which just so happens to be
2022, which also happens to be my birthday. So it is your birthday gift to me to pre-order Princess Night.
Everybody go do that. It's a great graphic novel. It's a great manga.
And the anime is available for free on Crunchyroll. The anime dub is headed by the creator of Casper the Friendly Ghost for some reason. He produced every dub of there's like 40 episodes in the 60s for NBC, but NBC refused to air it. Why, Ray?
Because it was promoting a transsexual narrative.
That is the exact words NBC used, So
check out the story that was too trans for NBC.
Yeah, too trans to be aired with Astro Boy and Kimba the White Lion. Those iconic shows that people actually remember from the 60s.
Okay, it's also funny that the Princess Night is coming out on your birthday and Our Flag Means Death came out on mine.
No, yeah, that's really funny. Manga have been getting delayed a lot, so there's a pretty high chance it won't actually come out on my birthday, but I think it's really funny.
Unless it is delayed an entire year, and then...
Oh, yeah.
It'll come out on your birthday! And
all that's left is for something Phantom of the Paradise related to come out on my birthday.
And if you do buy the recommendation of Ray, check out Princess Knight, we have a other fandoms chat in our Discord. I will alert Ray to anything you say about Princess Knight in there, and she will be happy to read it.
Probably respond, unless I'm half asleep.
The anime is free on Crunchyroll, free, with ads, and was deemed by NBC too trans. And if you want to find more episodes of this Too Trans podcast...
That's because there's 2 trans people hosting it. That's 2 as in the number.
And then often 1 or 2 guesting.
Yeah.
Hi, Ray!
Hi!
You can go to our host network, pipedreampodcasts.com, where you can find other episodes of this show. You can find other shows like Escape from Vault Disney. How didn't this not get mated? Wait. How did this not get made? And come on Fuquapod.
Yeah.
There you can also find a link to our show's social medias, the aforementioned Discord server, and what else, Ella?
Why, that would be our Patreon, patreon.com/Mystery Shack. $3 will get you a shout out at the end of episodes. $5 will get you into viewing parties for the episode. Join us whenever this episode is dropping to watch Roadside Attraction. $40 will get you voice or art commissions from Charlie or myself, respectively. And you can check out our fancy merch store at crowdmade.com/collection/Mystery Shack. Look back, get yourself some podcast swag. We don't have an air horn, but I'm mimicking one with my
there
mouth.
It is. Oh my god, Ray, that was uncanny. Wow.
That was a little scary. Whoa. Freaking me out a little.
I would like to thank Brian Bryan for making the instrumental to our theme song and for... Nope.
I would like to
thank him for doing the intro to the Hall of Conspiracies, but that was actually Ray this week.
Oh, yeah.
The Hall of Conspiracies intro is Lentil Dentist. It's a real song. There's there's words. You can learn the words if you wanted. The link's in the description.
They're very strange words, but they are words.
It's a really strange song. I really like it. And thank you to Tsunami Holmes on Tumblr for the Stanford handwriting font on our thumbnails.
Adam, thank you for using our spit, which to your weird species is food, but making our audio tracks sound spitless and getting some sustenance out of it as well.
And Ray, I actually have brought someone here to speak with you.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah. I can't believe we booked him twice.
So remember how your last time on this podcast, Big Mouth Billy Bass kind of upstaged you?
Oh, yeah.
He's actually written an apology that he would like to...
Oh, he didn't have to. Thank you,
Take
Big
what?
Mouth Billy Bass.
Ray? No, Ray?
What?
I didn't stop him.
What happened? Is he okay?
Is he okay? Oh my god. Somebody call 911.
Give him reverse CPR.
Why is it playing? It's not supposed to play the same song twice in a row. Where's the other song? Why isn't his mouth moving?
Oh no! Billy, come back!
Well, folks, listeners at home, I don't know how to say this, but I think I think Big Mouth Billy Bass might have passed away.
Oh no!
Live on our podcast.
I don't even know how to process.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss.
Celebrity deaths are a lot.
I don't really. You know what, Charlie? I feel like this is the kind of grief that can only really be processed through song.
You're right. Much like Don McLean used a song to process the passing of his idol, Buddy Holly. Ray?
Oh, yeah.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. Each time I pushed that button down, that mounted fish would flop around. I'd worry not, be happy for a while. Well, Molly Lewis changed my future. That thing they do on their computer. The Al Ouvra's a classic, but he's not Billy Bassick. I can't remember if I cried when I realized that this fish had fried, but something got at me inside the day the big mouth died. So
bye, Mr. Billy Bass Guy. Caused commotion in the ocean, now the ocean is dry. I took him to the river up in the sky. He sang,
please don't let my batteries die. Please don't let my batteries die. Now 10 years later, the docent deemed her aim was better than the meme. Hey, who licked my spaghetti clean? And when Billy sang for all of them with the tune he got from Bobby M at a table, read with the podcast machine. But while the man was swapping spit, the fish was flopping up a fit from all that daily slug. The dogfish must leave his blood, like how Kit Marlowe was really fruity, and football teams all root for Rudy. Alexa thinks it really threw me the day the big mouth died. She was singing,
bye, Mr. Billy Bass Guy. Caused commotion in the ocean, now the ocean is dry. I took him to the river up in the sky. He said,
please don't let my batteries die. Please don't let my batteries die. Now Ella is a ukulele, and Charlie is a savvy matey, but she'll be stuck in Sweater Town. I took a trip between the pines, where Caesar quotes some gleeful lines, but the disc was full of video and round. And the thing is, huskies make good pets. Honey saw one at the vet, but not a hawk conspired. Miles is still fired, and the three who let me be so odd, I see them as Fuqua gods. They made me grateful for my pod the day the big mouth died. They were singing,
bye, Mr. Billy Bass Guy. Caused commotion in the ocean, now the ocean is dry. I took him to the river up in the sky. He sang, please don't let my batteries die. Please don't let my batteries die.
They were singing,
bye, Mr. Billy Bass Guy. Caused commotion in the ocean, now the ocean is dry. I took him to the river up in the sky. He sang, please don't let my batteries die.
Hey, YouTube Ford.
Hello, Table Read Stan. Care to explain what you're doing in my lab?
Well, I charged a bunch of people a lot of money just to say their names. Suckers. Anyway, there's a lot of them, and I don't feel like, reading them all myself. You want to do some?
I have many moral objections to this, but you've tempted me with an organized list. Thank you, too, Daddy Driftwood.
And Daddy Buttons.
Friendly Local Geek.
Fun Boringness.
Hugh Salinas.
Juno Series, I guess it's pronounced.
Liz Clark.
David, oh boy, okay, Gansel?
You got it, yes, Gansel.
Aren't you Mr. Fancy?
I was voted Mr. Fancy 5 years running.
Don't remind me, I remember.
Richard Scanland.
Jamie Belts. I want to belt a couple of shots of whiskey after this list. Go ahead.
Ryan Faber.
Stephen Patrick Mulholland. Oh, Mulholland Drive. Very interesting. All right.
It's a good film. Gwen Prime.
Junior Bruh.
Joseph Jones.
Olive Pluto.
Oliver. There's an R there, Stan.
Oh, Oliver Pluto. I'm sorry, I was distracted by the object that's no longer a planet at the end.
Kuiper object, that's the term.
Whatever for. That was your thing, not mine. Oliver Pluto.
Petey Piranha Plant.
Elizabeth Neuenfeld.
Mumpleteen D. Wumpleteen.
Oh boy, these kids these days. Vanillin Sucker.
Zucker, not sucker.
Whatever. He's a sucker. He might be a Zucker, but he's also a sucker. Vanillin Zucker.
Ro Davis.
Adam with 2 A's, a D, and an M.
Delphine Dussy.
May? Just May.
Jessie Marie McDougal.
B. Calisoda.
Rich Rawl.
Easy Snake Oven.
Samantha Angley. And Spencer Neil Campbell. Stan, what are all these patrons paying for anyway?
Oh, just the essentials. This brown meat doesn't buy itself.
Nor does Fully Clothed Women magazine, evidently.
Hey, keep your hands off that. Help me stock up for the apocalypse at patreon.com/Mystery Shack.